Hello, Dishin Days fans. I'm back.
She's back.
I have been
And she's
gone a
well.
really long time.
And she's well.
I am well. I am well. I am healthy. I'm back, baby. Not to make it all about me. Yeah, we are Dishin Days. We are live. Thank you so much, everybody, for your well wishes. Thank you to everyone tuning in with us. Let me get through the church announcements first before we
Announcement.
I'm sorry. I have a piece of candy in my mouth. I'm sorry. I'm not still sick. I had I don't know why I decided to pull out. I got some candy when I was in France, and I was like, oh, let me take a tiny little piece. But I didn't realize it was like a caramel. I was gonna get stuck in my mouth.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank
you. Good to have the lady back, the lady of the house back.
Thank you. I missed everyone. Yeah. I was watching you guys while I was gone. I was just exhausted. I was looking at
yes, that's right. Last week Justin was like,
I know my attempts were thwarted, Araceli. I tried. Listen, I tried to sneak them in underneath. I was like, so I think wait.
I saw, yeah. No, I mean, I was even watching you guys when I was in Europe, but it was I so badly, guys. If you don't know, I was really trying to get in the swing of things to do the Beyond Salem show, but I was on my.
That's how long you've been gone. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how long I've been gone.
Forever ago.
Yeah, but I was on my feet for 13 hours a day.
Wow.
So I was exhausted.
On vacation.
I was I don't relax when I'm on vacation. I do stuff. So it wasn't exactly. So I was exhausted. So there was just no way I was going to be able to do shows when I was gone. But thank you guys so much for holding down the fort.
Absolutely.
Okay, now that all that's done, please follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, @Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on Twitter. If you're here, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're already here, follow us on all of our podcasts. We are on Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio. If you can't watch us live, you can watch us there. And buy our merch, dishindays.threadless.com. It doesn't look like it's cooling down anytime soon. So you still have time to get that Meliswin towel.
Absolutely.
You have time to get everything.
You have time to get everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what are y'all going to get us?
Hey!
Breaking news.
Today's special guest, breaking news. It's Mama Moore.
Okay, so hi everybody. I'm not doing the show today because I'm in South Carolina with Mama Moore, and I did. We had a festival. My short film was in a festival here in my hometown, so I came home to watch it with my mom, and then I was like, you know what? We should pop into Dishin Days really quick. So look at everyone saying, "Hey, Mama Moore," so that everyone can say hi to Mama Moore, so that I could show her, what this all looks like and how she needs to be in the chat and not texting me.
I'm always gonna text. She's not gonna be in the chat.
She's never gonna be in the chat. Hi guys, how are you?
Hey. Mama Moore, what did you think of this week of days?
Oh Lord!
Please give them all your theories, because I will say we watched Days together while I was here. She talks during the whole episode, and she gives her theories throughout the whole episode, even about storylines that are not even shown at that moment. we were watching Lee and Kristen, and she was like, "I think Gwen killed Sarah," and I was like, "We're not even on the Sarah storyline."
But I think she did, though.
A true Days fan, yes.
Yeah.
What did you think about this week?
Who?
About this week
I don't know.
Days?
It was just. Oh, there was a lot going on. And I didn't like the way they brought Ben back. He acting all.
Oh, so
he was like, he's a hoe.
You can say that.
Someone's going to
say,
take
you're allowed to say
send it
that.
to Robert. Yeah.
So you think you don't like Robert Scott Wilson as Alex? You prefer him as Ben.
Mm-hmm.
What about Lee Shin and Stefan and Kristen?
See, they going too far with that.
You think they're going too far with bringing Stefan back? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they should leave him alone. They should have. Yeah, that's just way too much.
Okay.
They're gonna make him fall back in love with Chloe.
Yes.
No, that's stupid.
You like Brady and Chloe together. And listen, for all of you Brady fans, don't you dare mess with me about my mama. Not feeling some kind of way.
Tony are gonna get it even more now.
He needs to go back to Kristen. That's what he needs.
You want Brady with Kristen?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they can raise the baby.
Okay.
They don't have all that drama.
Okay. And then what else?
Leave Chloe alone. Let Chloe go head on.
What about okay? So remember, we were watching the scene with Paulina and Abe, and Paulina was talking about Kate.
Kate, right?
Do you think that Roman should forgive Kate?
Yes, he should.
Okay.
Because him and Kate should be together. I mean, he love her, but he want to act all tough.
Okay.
So he need to just squash that and say, "Come on back, baby."
Oh, I love it.
But they gonna get back together though.
Who? Roman and Kate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch what I say. Who make a bet? Make a bet.
Wait, did y'all catch that?
Write it down. What do we usually do? We write it down. We put it somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna text it to Tony.
Even better, it'd be memorialized.
I could tell in this moment she has clearly been watching the show because she almost said, "Who out there thinks that?" And I was like,
We're like, oh.
I get it from you.
I know you do. Look, everyone is saying that you're right, and they're saying hi. Okay,
Cool beans.
Is there anything else about the show?
No, I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So to sum it all up, the thoughts of Mama Moore.
Yep.
Alex is a hoe.
Yep.
Gwen killed Sarah.
Yep.
Kate and Roman are going to end up together.
Yep.
Brady needs to be back with Kristen in order to raise Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's it, right?
And then they're gonna fix it so Chloe and Stefano can get back together.
Chloe and Stefan can get back together.
Rolf.
Okay.
Dr. Rolf. That's how I call it, Dr. Rolf.
Okay, that tops yours, Tony. That's what we need. We need that as a soundbite.
Oh my God. So now every time we mention Rolf, I have to report my mom saying Dr. Rolf.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And that has been your Mama Moore segment.
That's right. Nice.
All right. Well, listen, you
but
guys.
It was nice seeing you guys.
Nice seeing you too. In person.
Soon,
next time in person.
Yeah. Mom, we're back on.
We'll do
Somebody
brunch.
has to buy me lunch when I come out there. I don't care who.
Oh, we will.
Okay, cool.
Kitchen 24
Done.
and then Abby and then Abby. Yes.
All right.
Oh Lord.
And you guys wonder where I get it from.
Not me.
Tony, we'll see about you coming. We'll take more for now.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow. Left out of the free lunch. You know what? Bye. You guys have a wonderful show. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Hey, y'all have a great week now.
Yeah. Bye,
Bye,
Mama.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Oh, too funny.
Too cute.
We might need to have a show with just Mama Moore on.
I know, right?
Yes. She needs her own segment recorded.
Yes.
Own segment or own Instagram live moment or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They need to do a live watching the show. That would.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That'd be good.
Oh my gosh, yes, because Tony likes to talk too. He likes to pretend he doesn't talk, but he does talk, and then she'll talk over him, and it'll be just fantastic.
Yes. Mystery Days of Our Lives Theater 3000.
Yes.
Instead of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Well, thank you to Mama Moore and Tony for tuning in. Tony will be back in 2 weeks. So week after next. Yeah. We'll be here holding down the fort. And in the meantime, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Now that we know how Mama Moore felt about this week's days, what did the rest of us think of days this week?
You know, I'm kind of with Mama Moore on a lot of things, except maybe the Brady and Kristen thing. I slightly disagree with her on that, but other than that, yeah, I'm with Mama Moore. I think Alex is a hoe. Did enjoy the red underwear moments.
Oh God,
we saw little Alex.
The text messages that were going around. Oh my gosh!
There are some times I feel like I should have just a thread with Justin and Tony to save you the. You know, I'm like, oh, maybe Araceli doesn't want to hear this.
I just don't talk about it.
Yeah. No,
just you didn't. Because I am the like. That's me. That's me.
Honestly, I forgot you were even on that thread until Michael just said it. I thought it was that one. I was like, oh yeah, she did say anything. I was like, oh okay. Yes, we had a I was going to say lengthy pun intended about a specific fan response that got to Michael, and he shared with us about that.
We also got a message from a fan on Instagram, a very emphatic message about that specific scene. A fan who was very in the moment with that and was like, listen, you gotta see this. They're like, no, you gotta see this.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Imagine
what we're gonna if they can do this on broadcast. Imagine what they're gonna give us on Peacock.
Well, yeah, because this week, if you guys missed it, was it Ken? It was Ken Corday, right?
I have it in my news.
Yeah, Ken Corday basically
don't mess with Justin's dude. No, wait, okay, we got.
But he said he commented on what Peacock would be, and I was kind of like, yeah, I think we're already there.
Yeah,
we're there.
We're close.
We're there. Yeah, this week with just the character of Alex, we're there already. Yeah. Right.
I love this week. There was a lot that happened. I forgot back. I was like going through all the plots and stuff, and I was like, wait, was that last week? And I was like, no, that was all this week. There was a lot of stuff, and a lot of people were on. I feel like they're picking up the pace recently, like with a lot of the stuff. I feel like it slowed down a little bit with the Abigail death, the murder kind of thing, and I feel like ever since then, every week they've been picking up the pace a lot to cram in a lot of story. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. So let's get into it. It's time to start.
Dishin
Days.
Mine was always a slower one on that one.
Oh snap!
You are.
Anyway.
Okay. First storyline we have, speaking of Abigail, let's get into her murder investigation, which involves Jack, Gwen, Chad, Leo, Sarah, Xander, Sloan, which is I'm not sure. They say that we've seen her before. I don't think we've seen her before. Rafe, Sean, and Jada. So. Okay. So last we picked up, Leo was picked up because Thomas and Clyde both ID'd him as having been in the DiMera house when Abigail was killed. Jada and Chad, for whatever reason, don't know why he was there doing that. That's not his job. Find evidence that, in fact, he was there.
Did you guys
really?
catch that reference? Yeah. It was a Ferris Bueller, and then Sean did the whole
Sloan Peterson was the name of Ferris Bueller's lady friend in the old school Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the
with
movie.
Matthew Broderick,
exactly.
Also, Sean did when they came back from break, he did the thing where he's like, "Oh, didn't you have the day off?" And then she said, "Oh no, that wasn't today," or something. So it was like they were referencing it. Yeah, that's what that part was. If you didn't get it, yeah.
Oh my gosh, the little tidbits that we get into. Anyways, so now Leo is on the hook for Abigail's murder.
Fry him. I'm. You know what? Put him away and fry him.
Do we think he did it?
No, I don't think he did. I don't care at this point. Fry him. I'm done with him.
You're done.
Really?
He annoyed the ever-loving F out of me all week. This character used to be enjoyable, but I think we're getting too much of a good thing, and now every time he opens his mouth, I'm just like, like at the end of like Thursday's episode whenever he was being like interrogated and Sloane came in, and every time Rafe said something, he had something like, and I was like, fuck, just shoot him in the head. Like, I'm done with him. Like, I hate saying that, but it just got to me, and I'm like, all right, he's a caricature now.
So you think
I feel like his character used to be richer, you know, there used to be like a little more depth to the character, and now it's he's just a cartoon character.
I kind of agree with you. I'm not as far gone as you are, but I do inject some substance into him. And the funny thing is, I was like, the one thing that sort of grounds him is his relationship with Gwen. And honestly, he turned on her so quick this week.
Yeah.
Like, not that I didn't expect it, but I was like, where he just jumped up and was like, I know who did it. First, I thought it was going to be a fake out. Like, maybe he was going to try and implicate someone else, and that's who we were going to see. But then when we saw Rafe with the mask to Gwen, I was like, oh, he did. I was like, he turned on her so quickly. And I was like, oh, you guys are like you only have each other. Gasp. What's that say?
Yeah.
Gasps in gay. You know.
Yeah.
Matt Litchfield, I see you.
So I agree with you. I think moving forward, they need to find a way to ground him a little bit more. Like, we love the sassiness and the quips and the wit and stuff. But it's
but that's all that's at least lately that's been all that's to his character, you know. Before, when we had, you know, his mom come in and like I said, the character just had more depth before, and now it's just it's
I think I would have been annoyed had my mind not gone into a little bit of a tangent as I was watching him, because Greg Ricart is just so spot on.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
He's just so spot on with this character. And then if you see him on YNR, he's a completely different character. So I just revel in this man just all of the time because he's so damn talented. And so I'm watching him play this, you know, every quip, every line, and I'm thinking, man, if we might as well just go all out and have Leo do like a recap of each days, like have him have his own podcast in town and recap and do like be a part, like have that be his next career.
Or something.
I would not listen to that.
In media. Yeah, just recap all the town gossip after at the end of every week. And I'm like, I'd watch it. I'd listen. I really would.
Yeah. Funny thing, we were talking about this last week, but I kind of got a little bit excited about the idea of maybe him working with Brady and Chloe. I actually thought we thought maybe they would hire him. So at least to like mix it up a little bit.
Except that they would kill him within 5 minutes.
Yeah. Or find a way to like bond over something. I feel like he's that type of character where you can sort of forgive him and move on and have sort of a fun relationship with someone like him. He's kind of a great character, but not really, you know.
Yeah. Like I said, he used to have more depth.
Yeah.
Give me the depth again, writers. This isn't about Greg, by the way, I'm saying. He's acting out what is written for him very well. Obviously, if I'm having this reaction, maybe this is the, you know, reaction they want. I don't know, but yeah. Like the quips every now and then, like they would throw them in and it was like, oh. But that episode where it was like every time Rafe said something, Leo like had a and I was like, all right, enough. And I think even Sloane said at one point, just shut up. I was like, yeah.
And honestly, it was more, I think, it stood out more because I actually loved the interaction with Sloane and Rafe. I was like, oh, Rafe's kind of alive in the scene. Like, I actually like their little banter towards each other. And I think it was the fact that he said, like, he knows who she is, but I don't think we, the audience, know. Like, apparently she's an ambulance chaser, and so that's how he knows her. But I actually like their little, like, quip. I was like, ooh, like, Rafe is alive.
Yeah, they bounced well off each other. Yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah.
So then Leo didn't do it, but do we think Gwen did it? Are we still?
No. Too obvious.
I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could. You know, wonders never cease. They could make it Gwen. I just feel like it's it's too obvious. I think we're getting thrown a curveball.
Yeah.
So to speak. I think there's still more to be revealed with it.
I do think that I think whatever happened, I think Gwen may have happened upon what's her name's body, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking happened. That may explain like the fact that she as Sarah wearing the Sarah mask was rushing out of the DiMera mansion and dropped the knife. I don't know if that's the murder weapon knife and she picked it up, or if she herself went there to scare Abigail with a knife. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's what accounts for her like rushing out of the place, was seeing Abigail. Well, actually, that
I just thought, what if Leo saw Sarah, is assuming it was Gwen with the Sarah mask because he knew she has the Sarah mask, but it was actually Sarah.
At this point, you know what? The speculation, this is where we were. Anytime that there is a murder investigation, we reach a point in the story where it's kind of like, okay, we need to stop playing these guessing games.
Yeah.
And just tell us who it is. That's why I think, when Mike Manning, not Charlie. When Charlie was killed, we kind of reached that point too where we were like, okay, we just, we need to stop eliminating all these characters. And mind you, it was like a dozen characters that we went through in like a week just trying to figure it out. Now it's been, how long has Abigail been gone? As long as I've been gone. Abigail has been gone as long as I've been gone from this show.
Longer.
Yeah.
Longer.
A month and a half, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. We need to wrap this up now.
Well, they at least need to let us, the audience, know.
Yeah.
Like, they can still play it out a little more where the characters are figuring it out. Yeah. I always get to a point with these murder, like, kind of to your point, Araceli. There was, I think it was way back when I can't remember. There was a murder mystery going on, and I got so frustrated because it went on for like 6 months. Yeah. And I feel like at the halfway point, like at the 3-month mark, they should have at least let the audience know. So the audience was clued in. And then to the audience, it could be us seeing how it plays, how it's discovered.
Yeah.
And they can kind of play off that. This whole like months-long investigation without letting us know, it gets frustrating. So
it gets very frustrating. I
lose interest, honestly. I'm just like, make it whoever you want. I don't care.
The only part of this I like is really seeing Jada in her element, being a good cop.
Yeah.
Also playing catch up. The whole time that you guys were talking to her last week, I was thinking, I need to see her in the DiMera mansion. I need to see her just realize just how batshit crazy this whole situation is.
Why is everyone saying this like it's normal?
Yes, yeah. I was like, thank you.
To like experience it. Yeah. Yeah.
People are held captive down here. Why do people say that like it's a normal thing?
It's like, why isn't it sealed off? And I was just like, we keep wine down here. Like you could tell he didn't have an answer, but it was just like, why don't we seal this off? Kind of thing.
I don't know. It's just like, well, I think to Chad's point, it's like because like if we have so many tunnels, they go on for miles. What would be the point? Really? What would be the point? Somebody would just unseal it. Somebody would do something. What would be the point?
Yeah.
But
I have to say, I've had enough of Chad like flipping out with every new suspect. That's getting old for me.
It's just a repetitive
thing
with this story.
Lucas did it. I want to kill Lucas. Then I think Sarah did it, so I'm gonna get drunk. And now it's Leo did it, so I want to kill Leo again. It's like, okay.
I mean, well, I'll expand on this more later. The only thing that annoyed me about Chad this week was I was just wondering why in the world he was the one. I can understand him being the person who unlocked the tunnels and would show Jada around the tunnels. But when he started putting the gloves on, I'm like, dude, that's not your job.
Yeah,
I know. I found that a little odd too. I think he only put one glove on.
Yeah, but still, that's not that is quite the opposite of your job.
Yeah.
You just stand there and watch the professional do the work.
Yes.
So I thought that was an interesting decision too. On it when I noticed that too.
Because it could have easily just been Sean. Like
Yes,
they could have gotten a
should
key.
have
They
been.
could have had someone from the family open. They could have Tony or Anna open the door for
Yes.
them. Or like it would. It didn't. You didn't really need Chad except for I guess to fuel this idea of him getting some sort of evidence on Leo and then rushing
Yeah.
off to want to murder him, kind of a thing. But again, yeah.
Yeah. And then Sarah and Xander came to the conclusion that they should have came to last week, but didn't. And so then someone beat them to it. And dun, 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 hello, Mask.
I love the
Hello,
fact
Matt.
that they've cracked open this case for 90% of it. And it's like, okay, like you can now tell the police at least your theory. Like you can go to Rafe and Sean and Jada and be like, hey, this is what we think happened. It's like it's not so far-fetched now that it's you know. Yeah. Like before it was like, oh, we have a theory, let's go check it out. But I felt like once they found the mask, that should have immediately went to the police and kind of handed it over to them.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Let's move on to the next storyline. The resurrection of Stefan DiMera, which involves Lee, Rolf, Kristen, Brady, Chloe, Gabby, still unconscious, but very much still alive. Stefan. And Tony and Anna. So Tony and Anna were on at the beginning of the week, and Anna, you know what? I could actually see a podcast with Anna and Leo if they didn't kill each other, because Anna is so spot on.
Yeah.
I think Anna could have one without Leo. Anna could just have one by herself and just have guests every week.
And she's just so, like, people really, I understand it's easy to kind of discount Anna sometimes because she goes off on tangents, but her instincts are just so spot on.
Mm-hmm.
And she just, like, within seconds knew that Kristen was up to something, and it involved Stefan.
Yeah.
She just knew.
And it's like Anna...
I love how Anna doesn't hesitate to, like, recount all of Kristen's, like, the way she, yeah. And then they're like, all right, we get
Some
it.
of those things I completely forgot. It was like, oh yeah, that did happen. Like when she said
the whole Nicole, like married when she was parading.
Yeah,
like when she married Tony when she was Nicole.
Yeah,
I forgot about that because that was
or the fact that
was a quick,
Tony
like,
killed Ted Laurent. Like I forgot about that whole thing.
Oh yeah, well, I forgot completely about.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, like if like the it's just like the amount of crimes that she's committed this year. We forget the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Is that motor oil I smell? Yes, Anna, it's motor oil. And then she comes out of the bathroom and just has a drill.
Yes, I know. What was that? That was hilarious because she didn't explain it. She was just like, I'm gonna hold a drill during this scene. And it was like, what?
Like, was it sitting on the toilet when she went to the bathroom and had to move it? Or
That made me crack up so just the fact that they didn't even explain it, that made me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
So anyways, Anna is spot on. And Stefan is still unconscious.
So Anna's kind of wondering why she thinks Kristen's up to something because she saw Kristen looking at Stefan's obituary.
Yes.
Right? That's how she kind of is like, that's why she's suspicious.
Yes. And a lot of people are actually thinking about Stefan bringing up Stefan's name this week. We know it's not a coincidence.
What, Michael? Wait.
Yeah, that's okay.
Wait, what?
Oh, I'll put it back up. Hang on.
Yeah.
Whoops, that's the wrong one. For you, Justin. Read it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Miss Rice checks. What? I don't get that reference.
Gwen wrist check.
Oh, I was thinking
Anna has good instincts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She took one
wrist
look
check,
at
rice
Gwen
check.
and was like, I
LOL.
Wrist check. Yeah.
Here's the joke. Here's Justin.
I know. I was like, Chris. I was
Rice.
like, is that no? I was like, is that a thing for Stacey? Did she do like a rice check commercial?
Stacey do a rice checks commercial. That's what just came out of his mouth. Did Stacey do a rice checks commercial?
Like, Miss Rice checks. I was like, I don't get that. Listen, the check sometimes can do a deep cut where I'm just like, okay, I don't get it, but I'm just gonna go along with it. I'm sure. Give me an hour to think about it. I'll get it. But no, wrist check. Okay.
Oh gosh. Okay. Anyways, back to Kristen and her shenanigans. So Lee tried. Okay, I'm bringing back to Earth. Okay. So Lee tried to kill Stefan. Did we think he had it in him?
No.
Kind of.
Well, I honestly no. And honestly, I feel better this week about Li Shen and the direction they're taking him.
Yeah.
Versus what I felt last week.
Yeah.
Because I was not on board with it last week. This week he had a little more the actor I think he got more into the villain.
I agree with you, yeah.
And really started feeling himself with the, intensity, I guess, that you need from a villain. So good. So yeah, I'm on board now. I'm like, okay, I'm curious to see what this guy's capable of now.
Yeah, I was surprised that they had him and Kristen sort of meet that way. I thought it was going to drag on where Rolf was going to have to play them two against each other without them knowing, kind of a thing, or at least without Kristen knowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that didn't last long. Yeah.
I'm glad they cut that out and just had them come together and like we could work together and kind of get this done, kind of thing. So
yeah, and he came up with the whole, okay, we'll make Stefan fall in love with Chloe again. Now I need
Stefan
a history
was never
lesson.
in love. Okay, Stefan. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Let's go. Okay, let's go back.
Let me say this. Sorry, before you do it, let me just say I'm glad they brought this up because even last week I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, are they gonna never like mention the Chloe part of this? And then like it happened. I was like, okay.
You know what? I was surprised that Chloe herself brought it up because I was like, guys, we're never even together. Let's go back in time for a minute. Anna actually, this actually ties into what Anna said. Anna brought up when Kristen was posing as Nicole. And married Tony. Around that same time is when Nicole was they had done like that fake car crash thing where Nicole was beaten. The real Nicole was being held hostage, and they faked Holly's death and said and for those reasons, it was around that time that Chloe moved into the DiMera mansion and she was in Stefan's orbit. Stefan was kind of like her protector around that time. I'm not exactly sure how
it was the drug kingpin that held her captive. Remember, he came back around and Stefan kind of thwarted her from being
then they faked
for you guys for remembering all this.
And then they faked Holly's death. And so Stefan was supposed to be like her protector, her support system when Nicole went on a rant and blamed Chloe for Holly's death.
Yeah.
At the same time, Gabby wanted she wanted full control of DiMera. Yeah. So she hatches and Brady wanted.
That's right. They were working together.
And Brady, once again, Brady wanted Chloe. So Brady wanted Chloe away from Stefan. So he planted the idea in Gabby's head. Why don't you seduce Stefan?
Right.
Yeah. It was Brady's idea to begin with. So that's how Gabby and Stefan ended up together. And for everybody who's thinking like plan is going to work, I'm going to tell you right now, Lee and Kristen's plan is not going to work because Chloe and Stefan were never really together. They had maybe like a few kisses. They never slept together.
Yeah.
There was never really any intimacy. There was nothing there. They were never in love. There was nothing there.
I'll say this though. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say, it didn't seem to me like they were going to rely on only his memories. I feel like there was going to be some kind of, it made it seem like there was going to be some kind of like, when they mentioned, like Princess Gina and other things, I was like, oh, they're going to like plant memories in him or brainwash him.
And here's the thing, I would say that would work. But the thing is that Rolf had that plan in the works for years. He had always had Princess Gina in his back pocket. And we just played catch up and found out that he did the same thing to Stefano's memories. He would never have had time to get anything from Stefan's mind before he had been shot.
I'll say this. I agree with you. Their relationship wasn't, I will say it wasn't like a substantial relationship, but I do think that Stefan was into Chloe more than she was into him at the time. And so I think coming from that perspective, I think it'd be a little easier to push Stefan there again. Just because he was the one who, I think he was he was more invested in getting Chloe and being with Chloe.
He talked the talk, but as soon as Gabby batted her eyelashes, they were in bed.
But I have to say, I like them together. I actually like Stefan and Chloe together. I thought,
I thought they made a decent pairing.
They were a good idea.
This was the point where they were starting to soften Stefan and make him more of a viable character than just like the big bad villain. And so I think Chloe was the person to kind of usher that in a bit.
Well, that's the thing is like it was the same thing. I compare it to, back, or maybe like around like a little before then when Sierra first came back. Remember, the idea was to pair her with Trip. And again, good idea at the time, but then the minute that Sierra saw and Ben, like, same thing with Chloe and Gabby and Stefan. Chloe and Stefan were a good idea at the time, but then the minute that they paired Gabby and Stefan together, it was.
But also, we didn't. Last time it was TC's Stefan. We've never seen Nadia with Brandon. You know what I mean? We haven't seen that chemistry.
We saw them a little bit.
Was it? Did he?
I remember being Brandon and Nadia.
Oh, was Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was all TC.
It was. It was, but it was just so, it was so short. It was so short.
Maybe
yeah, that's the thing. It was not that amount of time, which is why it was kind of like.
I don't think it was Brandon. I think it was all TC at that time.
Which is kind of why it was like kind of off-putting to hear Chloe bring it up. Because it was like, girl, you were not even together.
Yeah, it's kind of they're rewriting history a little bit here. Like that's what's happening. But
yeah,
yes,
I'm actually interested in it though. I actually
to see where they go with it.
Do the memory thing where it would be like Stefan, it would be Jake's memories inside Stefan, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm not crazy about that. So I'm glad that it's actually Stefan, and I think we'll see how far they get with in terms of like the programming of him. I think that's a somewhat interesting twist, but I'm glad we're actually getting Stefan himself. It's not Jake into Stefan, or we still have the whole like heart thing, but I don't know if they're going to make a big deal about that.
Yeah. So that was, but I actually did appreciate the talk that Gabby and Chloe had because I think that they know what the other is going through. And I actually really like that Gabby had a lot of airtime this week, and she actually had a lot of people in her corner this week. Shocking, because that never happens. But every person she interacted with this week was like either, just gobsmacked by her or impressed by her or sympathetic towards her. And I was like, Gabby doesn't get a lot of love for good reason.
Yeah.
She hasn't always earned it.
I got to say,
for years, even when, sorry.
No, I was going to say, we went for a while complaining about Gabby a lot and them just writing the way they were writing her for a few months. And I feel like they've made a conscious turn there with her. And I think
for sure,
the last couple months, I've definitely been liking, I feel like we're getting the old Gabby back where she can still be ruthless and stuff, but not be so
mean-spirited.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And even when she was being mean-spirited and she had been through a lot, and I'm trying to remember all that she went to jail for something she didn't do. She got beat up to the point where she couldn't have kids, and so when she got out, she wasn't Miss Nice Gabby, and it's like she'd been through so much shit. You almost couldn't. I mean, she shouldn't have done what she did, but you could almost like rationalize it almost.
At least like the anger and the rage,
Yeah. Where now, I mean, what she did to Lonnie wasn't cool. That after that, I was like, no, not on board with that. But you're absolutely right. I think she's being written a little differently, and she's being written a little more, just not, she's actually, I don't know how to say it, but you're right. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just realize it's that, the benefit of time, doesn't heal all wounds, but it certainly lessens the blow of things. Because what, at the end of the day, Lonnie and Eli got their happy ending. They got their 2 kids, and while things didn't work, happy-ish ending. While to the point where this Stefan's resurrection even rewrites some of that history for Lonnie. She doesn't know it yet, but she's not responsible for Stefan's death. Yeah. Which it's kind of a rewrite and a retcon for them, and that I think is good because it unknowingly heals that wound for Lonnie, so it's also a good thing for her. But yeah, Gabby, we take for granted how much abuse Gabby has been put through.
Yeah, just all the shit that she's had to go through no real fault of her own.
And you see the villain and you think, oh my gosh, she's such a bitch. She's just so horrible. But then you think about how would you be if you were just used as the world's punching bag?
Yeah.
Quite literally sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would you react?
Yeah.
And so you saw a lot of that vulnerability this week where everybody, and even the scenes with Johnny, I didn't think that Johnny needed to apologize to Gabby. I'm not, he didn't do anything wrong, but he still felt like he needed to apologize to her. And she was like, we're good. I know it wasn't you. And there's, you had nothing to do with me and Jake breaking up. And so it was just it was almost like everybody bending over backwards and finally realizing just all the shit that Gabby's been put through.
Yeah. Do you think that scene with Johnny and Gabby, you mentioned that it really wasn't needed, and you're right, it really wasn't needed. And it's been at least it feels like it's been so long since Johnny has been possessed that it just kind of came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering if they're trying to, if this was if they don't know, they have Johnny and Ava, which we haven't talked about yet, but they have them kind of being flirtatious with each other. But then I'm maybe they're but maybe we should explore something with Johnny and Gabby again. And maybe that was just
I think this is, the feeling I got this week was more of we need to reset, and we can't reset some of these characters until we acknowledge what they've been through, and they don't sweep it under the rug, because everybody wanted to sweep, the devil possession under the rug, so to speak, like you said, and it felt like no, we still need to acknowledge that these characters were traumatized. Their lives were turned upside down. It's not just let's just sweep it under the rug. I know it wasn't you, blah, blah, blah. It's no, let's acknowledge it.
Yeah. Like you, Michael, I did question that scene. I didn't, part of me thought maybe not romantically, even though I thought are they either doing a rechem test with them to see kind of a thing? Because since Johnny's now single officially, but I also thought maybe they were doing it on the business side. So that maybe
that could be
into Gabby running things and being I owe her, so maybe I wouldn't vote against her, maybe, or something.
It's kind of too late because he already gave EJ his shares, so I'm not sure how.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave EJ his shares. That's why EJ is on such a freaking power trip. That's right. Yeah. And ironically, and you know what? Ironically, guys, all of Leishan's actions this week, it's kind of if it wasn't directed at Stefan, would have convinced me that he would be the next perfect match for Gabby. Ironically, if it was anybody else that was the target of his actions, it would convince me that he would be the perfect match for Gabby, because he's probably as close a match to her as possible, and that, like Stefan, he doesn't judge her. He respects her business acumen. He respects her as a mother, as a woman. He doesn't put her down. And he understands the darker side, and he doesn't love her in spite of it. He loves all of her. The same way Stefan did.
I think for me, they need to round out that relationship. I feel like it's we're finally now at this point after having them together for months, where I felt like they were just having sex and sleeping with each other, and it was okay,
was a casual hang.
Yeah. Now it's we realize he's more like her, which is great character development. But I'm not getting and the funny thing is, even those last I think the last couple of weeks they've had a few scenes, the one with Gabby and Rafe, where she's talking about Lee, and she's he's great and all, and I'm glad they did this. They didn't pour on the like, I love him, he's the next love of my life. She was just kind of like, he's great, he seems like a great guy, and
she was like, he's good enough. It was like, good enough.
And I felt like, I understand they're probably telegraphing that for Stefan, but I felt like it also was true of what we, the audience, saw. They didn't do one of those things where it was like, me and I are in this whirlwind romance, and he takes me places. Like, she didn't do any of that we the audience hasn't seen. So I just feel like, I don't know, in order for like Lee to really rival Stefan, which I'm guessing this is where they're going, I feel like I need to get more of them as a couple, is Lee and Gabby. And like sort of even being like, they haven't even, I don't know if they've said I love you yet. So it sort of seems like you have this dead husband who's the love of her life, and this kind of like new boyfriend who's kind of cool, but like, there isn't much of a rivalry there. So I don't know.
Well, that she knows of.
Yeah. But I mean, even from like an audience standpoint, where you're looking, where it's like, oh, who is she going to choose? It's like, oh, well, there's really no choice. There's not even a comparison. Like, I feel like she would literally turn to Lee, even if Stefan thought he liked Gabby, and she would probably even turn to Lee and say, I'm going to pursue Stefan. It was fun. See you later. Like, I'm not getting a solidification of their relationship yet. So I'm hoping
same.
Yep.
Yeah. So, man, we talked about that a lot more than I thought we would. Yeah.
There's a lot happening. There's a lot to digest. There's a lot.
But no, there's one more thing I want to get to, because I don't see it in later segments. Brady and Chloe, because Brady brought Rachel home.
Yes.
So do we? And he had that talk with Marlena where he's kind of going back and forth on how much access Kristen should have to Rachel. Should Kristen be given partial custody, or is that giving?
I think yes, because I think it'll at least keep her at bay.
Will it though?
I mean, probably not. But I guess my point is, I understand why he's doing it.
Yeah.
Should it happen? I don't know. But I understand his mentality that it's like, okay, give her partial custody and she'll leave us alone. But I feel, but no, you're right. When Kristen if she gets half custody, she'll just go, or she's just going to go straight up for full custody as an FU to Chloe and what happened in the office, and the fact that, okay, now it's been established that Kristen does want Brady back. She wants them back as a family. Her actions this week, which annoys me. I was just kind of hoping Kristen would move on, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think it's possible that Kristen would just straight up go for full custody just to say, and somehow manage to get it, even despite what she's done.
I think the only problem is the influence of Rachel, which we saw the slight manipulation of the locket, the thing of the thing. I think if he can keep, or she can keep that at bay, or if Brady can convince her to keep that at bay. Otherwise, I do think, I mean, she does sort of deserve to see Rachel and have a relationship with her. And quite from the eyes of the law, like she said, she has been pardoned. So like none of her past transgressions can kind of be used against her. So it's like, it's a sticky situation. You don't want her to go for full custody, because then it's sort of,
and they need to be careful.
Get it from Brady, but she could probably rival him, and at least now he has some control over it. If he grants it to her, then if they go to court and have a court battle. But I understand Brady's frustration with kind of her.
And they need to be careful about what actions Kristen takes. If they do take this route where she goes for sole custody or full custody, her actions need to be, as we know them, to be like devious and manipulative, but to a third party, like a judge or a mediator. It's like, so what? She gave the kid a locket, It was just a memory. And this is going back to like when Sammy was trying to get custody of Will, and she was trying to paint Carrie and Austin as these horrible people. And it's like, well, Austin's my husband and he's off cheating on me. And even though we knew, it's like, okay, there's more to the story, to the third parties involved. They were like, nope. So I can't remember what happened, but I remember that's what Sammy was trying to do. So they have to be careful with Kristen that like, she's not going to extreme lengths, but then a third party is like, oh, well, it's fine. You know what I mean? They just have to be careful about how they do it.
Oh, man, I hate that you brought. I kind of hate that you brought up Sammy and Will, because it's just like every time I think about that, it's like Will, as an adult now, loves his mother. Will did not love his childhood.
No.
And to think that Rachel would have that same experience, it just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Where it's just like I could totally, because I can see it. I can totally see it. Where it's like I love my mother, but I don't love who she is or what she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
But we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Okay. So next up, we have arguably the funnest and probably most screen grabbed portion of the week,
I
which
wouldn't mind
was let's talk about Alex.
Yes.
and little Alex.
And little
Big Alex.
Little Alex.
Not so little.
Oh my. You see what I have to work with, folks? You see what I work with? Okay. Let's start at the beginning, which was
The
I know I was gonna say you beat me to it, Michael.
can we stay on topic, please?
Go ahead. Don't mind us, Araceli. Just keep going. We're privately
Your time
snicker.
fell out. Sorry.
So Alex goes on a date with Chanel and Allie. Y'all stay with me. Come, guys, try to stay with me here.
Don't get
He goes
distracted.
on a date
Keep
with
going.
Chanel and Allie.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Gabby joins in midway through. It seems like what I kind of like the way that they went, because it could have gone so sideways.
Yeah.
But because Alex is so charming and so open and honest, what could have been a really gross moment.
I see it as a gross moment, though. I didn't think that was charming. I didn't think the way he was talking to Allie and Chanel was charming. I don't think any of it was charming.
No.
He asked them to have a threesome. Like, you don't just ask that.
I love the character of Alex, but I think they're at 10 now, and I feel like they just bring it down to like a 7 or 8.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
it's okay.
He's such a fun character, and we like the horn dog of it. Nice, because honestly, it's nice to see like that type of characterization, and we don't get to see that a lot. And we like people who know who they are and are strong, but it's just like can be a little too much.
Yeah, look, I'd be blushing like 10 degrees of beats if he had dropped any one of those lines in front of me. On the flip side, you know, he was very open and he was very non-judgmental, and he wasn't pushy. He didn't, to me, he didn't cross like so over the line with Allie and Chanel that it became really just unbelievably uncomfortable. I say that as a girl, having been in like those scenes and been like, I need you to step far away, go like across the room, go away. I didn't get that from him. It was just kind of like, because he was like, oh, you've never had a threesome? And it's like, it's a startling question, to be sure, but the way that he asked it was kind of like, oh, it's just whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point it was just 3 people having a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was on the, I would have been, I don't know.
It's not you know why it grossed you out, Michael? Because it's not a conversation you have with people you just met.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's a conversation you have with people you've known for a while.
Yes.
And it just like it seemed slightly predatory. Predatory.
Because if they had said yes, he would have proceeded with the idea of him and them. So it's
he did proceed.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they didn't feel he was attracted to them, it would just be another question that he was asking. Do you know what I mean? Like it's different when it's someone who's kind of pursuing you, flirting with you.
But to your point, Justin, where it's like they need to dial him down a bit. It's the same thing. It's the same problem I was having with Leo, where every piece of dialogue out of his mouth had to be like a double entendre or like something, you know, like a horny teenager would say. And it was just like and I'm like, oh my God, dude, just dial it back a little bit.
Like I sort of cringed with the stuff with Sloane where he didn't remember her name. And I was like, you can have him be someone into casual sex and still know her name. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't need to like forget her name in order like to put that point.
Though to Sloane's credit, she didn't care that much.
Yeah, that's why I feel like
she had her coffee. She was fine.
Her pot of coffee.
Yeah. So she was fine. Which that to me says that Alex has a good reader on him.
Yeah.
Because he walked a very, very fine line with Ali and Chanel and Gabby. He was a little like tipping a toe over.
Yeah.
But he didn't cross like so far over the line that I was repulsed.
I gotta say, I would love to see that friendship, that Chanel, Ali, Alex friendship. I would like to see that moving forward, as opposed to him just kind of being a horn dog or trying to find a way to slip in there. Like, I would like to see him have friends.
I mean, he seems like a very fun, non-judgmental person.
Yep.
He just seems like a guy who says, like, you do you, I'll do me. Yep. Let's just, whatever.
Keeping it light,
Keeping it light, keeping it fun. And and that may not be your cup of tea, but the fact that he wasn't judgmental about it was what drew me in. And quite frankly, Sonny's reaction really put me off.
His reaction
was a little over the top.
Yeah.
He's like, is that jealousy about Alex? Yeah, they're playing the Sonny thing weird. Like, first when he wanted to join the company, Sonny was so put off by it. I was like, oh, is there like some dark secret, or does he think Alex is smart or a screw up or something? And they never really materialized. I think this week we got a little bit of an explanation where it was like he doesn't want to be in. Was it he doesn't want to be in his? See, I don't even remember it. That's how like faint it was. It wasn't that. It was like he doesn't want to be in his shadow or something, and I was like, oh, but you're saying the guy's really smart and he works hard and he's a good businessman. I don't know. The stuff with Sonny is really weird.
Well, and this is not the first time Sonny has had what I would say an overreaction or a this is now a pattern with Sonny, and it's like, what's the reason?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then he like had that reaction when he found out that Leo was arrested, and he was like, oh, this is all my fault, and like was panicked and had to call chat, and I'm like, what? What's the matter with you?
It really does feel like something is up with Sonny, because remember way back when, like I'm talking like way like a decade ago, when Sonny was first introduced, and he was more like Alex. Maybe not the horn dog part of it, but he was very light, very non-judgmental, very open. It was established that he was like this like rock climber, went to raves, had adventures. He was very much, a go with the flow kind of a guy. And now what the hell is going on? I understand. You can be a husband and a father and still not be a prude.
Yeah, in that conversation, I didn't know if they were like slowly like sinking in like marriage issues there, when he was like being so forceful about you find the right person and you marry them and that's who you love and blah blah. And I was like, is that him trying to convince him?
Is that him trying to convince himself that's
what I thought? I was like, is that where they're going here? Track. And they're like gonna pull up like marriage issues for Will and Son? I didn't know. I was just so confused about that scene.
It's just odd. It was odd that he just leaned so into it.
Yeah. I do like we're getting more. I'm glad that they're expanding the Kiriakis family, and that I'm glad that they brought Alex on. I'm actually loving Rob in this role. Shave the ratchet mustache. Oh God, I actually like it.
Did you notice? Was it just me? Did his halfway through the episode, Zach's facial hair went from like it was like 5 o'clock shadow with the mustache, then suddenly like it was just the mustache, and I was like, and I didn't bother to rewind and see
across the day or 2 days,
or something. It would just be, I don't.
But I also
I'm on board with losing the mustache.
Yeah, we're getting like a lot of like Sonny's backstory and the sort of quasi sibling rivalry, or the rivalry between the brothers. Like they're mentioning Joe and Vic a lot, even though I don't know if they're.
It doesn't even seem like rivalry per se. Yeah. Which I like. Or
at least like a sibling rivalry.
It seems more like trying to establish yourself. It's not like the DiMeras where they're like constantly trying to kill each other. It's more like just trying to establish your own path and your own respect. And to another layer that I like about Alex is that he doesn't want to be the boss.
Yeah.
He has no interest in being the boss. He has no interest in one-upping his brother. He just wants to contribute.
Yeah, and be respected. Yeah.
But what will he do with this information about this? Suddenly, after all of that, Sonny's reading his emails, and suddenly the conversation completely shifts towards this company they wanted to acquire, but passed on, or they passed on. And now I'm like, that kind of threw me. I'm like, wait, okay, so they're over what they were just talking about, and now they're on. And so do we think Alex is gonna like do something like?
I don't think he's gonna have to. I have a feeling that Victor's gonna once again take the reins on this one and just let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. But at least we did get that. We saw Alex following through on what he said of like, I bought this company in order to snatch it up to sell it back. And like we saw that through the email, he was selling it back for the same price. So he still is on the side of like, hey, I'm trying to help my brother out. I may be doing was an underhanded way of doing it, but this is all to make the company look good. This is all to make my brother look good. Like, you know. I'm worried about the stuff with Victor, though. I feel like that's where things are going to get tricky there.
It seems like they're teeing up Alex to be maybe a little as close to Victor as possible, but just not with the same animosity.
Yeah.
So he's not above underhanded deals, but it's not with any animosity and the same cutthroatness that Victor has. It's just Alex just sees it as good business.
Yeah. Ironically, I wonder if we're gonna get Victor's influence on Alex to where we get that point where he's like, maybe I should be CEO. Like maybe Sonny can't handle it.
Well, it may be that we're getting kind of a tee up to, you know, back when Justin first appeared on the canvas decades ago. Yeah. You know, we never got to see Justin's, you know, greater family. It was just, oh, this is Victor's nephew. And how does Victor's nephew fit into the story? And how is, you know, his influence on him? And
drilling that home of Alex. And Alex is very much like Justin when he came to the show. He's very,
Yeah. But yeah, Sonny, please stop. Please stop. I'm sorry. I am the good little Catholic girl, and even that was too much for me. I'm sorry. That was just like
too much sanctimony.
Yeah.
That was a lot. Dude, chill out. Chill. Okay. Before we get into our tidbits, I want to remind everyone to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, at Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on Twitter. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and buy our merch at dishindays.threadless.com. All right, let's get into our tidbits. So, first up in the tidbits, we have the return of Stephanie Johnson. Yay! Who first made her appearance on Beyond Salem. She's officially back in Salem. Nearly scared the living daylights out of her dad. So we all agree Steve is going way too far in his not unjust paranoia of Orpheus, but just his expectations of how his family is supposed to behave.
Yeah, I think he's a little premature. I do think Orpheus is probably most likely up to something, especially when he kind of threatened the kids. I mean, that was a pretty veiled threat of like, maybe I should go to Seattle. Like,
yeah.
You can't sort of justify Steven just randomly wanting to murder him without doing anything, but I just think he's premature.
Maybe a little bit.
It's a threat. There's nothing veiled about it. It's a threat, to be sure, to be taken seriously, but he needs to stop flying off the handle. You don't think clearly when you're flying off the handle.
That's true.
You know, that's the kind of behavior that causes you to nearly shoot your daughter. Yeah, the expectation.
And a PI doesn't have a proper alarm system. That was bugging me the whole. They were like, it doesn't work or it hasn't worked. I'm like, aren't you a PI? Like, I don't know. It just made those. I'm like,
Yeah,
It was
what a
a little
mess.
clunky. Yeah.
Yeah. And then ironically, so Kayla had to calm down Steve. And then Kayla had to calm down Chad. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, how Chad is also going over the top. But in his conversation with Kayla, we got deeper into it and we really got the full breadth of what Chad is feeling. And I feel like that was necessary.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I liked it. I kind of feel like we got a lot of that last week with the Thomas stuff. So I mean, it was nice to hear it again. I guess it was just like, oh, okay. Like,
well,
I like more Kayla's side than his side.
Well, it's the idea that we as an audience have had the benefit of time, and it didn't happen to us.
Yeah.
But Chad is still traumatized, and he's not dealing with it, and he's stuck in the anger stage of grief, and. Realistically speaking, people stay in that phase for a really long time. So it's I think that scene was for us as an audience to kind of serve as a reminder to us that there is no timeline on grief. And while Chad does need to deal with it in healthier ways, we and the people who love him cannot expect him to just move on.
Yeah.
Right. Fair.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know how this new Stephanie and Chad are going to work out as a friendship, because I know that they have a history. Which, geez, man, it was geez. See, it's like,
I know,
man,
I wasn't watching during that
different
time.
People, I know it's like different.
No, I know that they were, and the thing is that it was a weird time. That year was a weird time because it was the interim when those characters were interacting. They were different actors. They also were never really friends.
Yeah.
Because Stephanie was Abigail's friend from way back. And she was also Melanie's friend / rival. And Melanie, there was that really, really brief period of time where Melanie and Chad were together.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that weird, like 1 year and a half period where it's like people who didn't have chemistry were together, and it was just weird.
I'm kind of, who do you guys think she's there for? Like, who sent her? I don't think it was Orpheus. Part of me thought it was Paulina, maybe.
I think it's Alex.
So the PR, the
I think it's
PR.
Alex.
Oh, you think? Oh, okay.
I think it's Alex.
I thought it was Paulina because when she was running down, she said something like it could be business or political, and that made me think of.
I didn't even think Paulina.
Yeah.
Okay, then
it could be Alex. Yeah, I just thought like, oh, it can't.
It's not Orpheus.
Yeah.
That's it's not Orpheus. On the nose,
yeah.
If he wanted to, he could get on a plane and be in Seattle within a few hours. It's not Orpheus.
Yeah, but no, I like the addition of Stephanie. I like what she brought. And honestly, having Stephanie is making me this sort of Chelsea in that sort of group where I felt like they had a really great like core of people. But I'm always into like building up the younger people.
Look, I get that Chelsea's parents are not on the canvas, and she only has one sibling on the canvas, but. I agree with you, Justin. Why the hell isn't she here?
Yeah. But I think they could do some interesting things with her. I mean, she's related to everyone except Chad, I believe, that's on the canvas now. I don't know if they would go there, maybe not. But I even just having her around and be presence, I think would be a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So we shall see. Yeah. To be continued. Okay, next up, Lucas, Kate, Roman, Paulina, Abe. So, Lucas finally listened to reason and is going to prison.
Yep. What was it? 2 years or 3 years that he bargained for?
I think he said 3 with good behavior.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. And then I thought Kate said 2, and I was like, was that a mix-up and they just left it in, or? But I heard 3 years, so I'm going to go with 3. Or I think maybe he said 3, maybe 2 with good behavior.
Yeah,
maybe that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like, I mean, it's like lather, rinse, repeat with Luke. Like, they either send him off to a different country or they send him to prison. Like, when they want to get rid of him, it's like, let Lucas live. Like, I understand. I don't know. We talked about this before. I don't always like the way they treat Brian. I feel like
they bring him in, then they bring him in, then they let him go, and it's like Lucas never wins.
Yeah, exactly.
And partly it's because of it's Lucas's own doing. Yeah. But after a while, you're just like, let him live.
And they tie him to Sammy too much. He has his own history. He's I always think like he should be the patriarch of the Horton family. Like, even though you think he's young,
so much history.
Up there, like he's the oldest sort of grandson in the family now, and like he should take that role. And they should figure out a way to expand his character. He has a child now. They don't need
to bring. Sammy doesn't always need to be the reason Lucas is in the picture.
Exactly. Yep.
Especially when Sammy isn't here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sammy isn't here. Sammy not been here for a very long time.
Right.
I would have liked him to maybe like as punishment, because I feel like you gotta punish that. Like make him the town pariah for a little while, or put him with someone else where he has to start at the bottom, like he lost his job, or
he's a pariah with his
give him
kids.
something to do. Yeah, exactly. Like let's see him build up that relationship. No, it's reminding me of the Will situation, even though that was different in that when Will shot EJ and Lucas took the blame for it. It's different in the sense that Lucas actually did this. So, but I feel like no one really wanted this. I don't know if even Allie did. I think she wanted him to take responsibility, but I don't think she thought farther than that. The idea that you would.
Well, we don't know because we didn't see that. We just saw the phone call saying, I have to tell you something. Then we didn't see him the rest of the weekend. Lucas is apparently off already. So I don't know. Maybe I think it's still the same night. We can see it. I can't remember if they switched days this week. So maybe, but that was kind of, I would have liked to have seen, like, they had the Kate Lucas moment, which was great, but I think they needed to have the Allie Lucas moment.
Yeah.
Too. Maybe we'll get it next week, like I said, but
we'll see. No, this given everything that happened, I couldn't see a way out that, this was really the only solution.
Well, and like it could be a situation with Eric, like which was brought up this week about how Eric went to prison for killing everybody's favorite, Dr. Daniel.
But then
he managed to get out.
Yeah, but Roman's point was spot on, where it was like Eric took responsibility for that. He wanted to take responsibility for that because he knew what a catastrophic mistake he had made.
Yeah.
And he made the point to Paulina, it's like that Kate keeps bailing out her kids who are grown men. Lucas is not a young adult anymore. He is a grandfather himself.
Yeah.
But he will always be Kate's, Kate's little nugget of joy. There's always been that relationship with her and Kate, him and Kate.
Yeah, but it's like, oh my God, how old do you have to be before you stop getting bailed out? Yeah. It's insane.
But he did okay. So, but when it's netted out, he is taking responsibility. Yeah. He did barter for a lesser sentence for pleading guilty. Yeah. My point was that we could see him back. Yeah, they could if they wanted to. We could see him back sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
I think they'll have to get creative because we keep doing the pardon thing. First, Eric was pardoned. Now Gwen.
Well, no, it could just be like a good behavior, like you said, good behavior. It could simply be. Isn't that how Eric got out?
No, Eric was pardoned for saving the governor's daughter or something. Yeah, I remember that was like a little quick thing. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe no more pardons for a while, but
see Lucas if he
overcrowding. Maybe Salem's jails are. Maybe George Gascon can become the DA of Salem and let everybody roam free for
people who do not live in LA do not know that reference.
They don't get it, but we do, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if this is the end of Brian for a while. I don't know. We don't pay attention to any of that. So I'm hoping we still see Lucas for a little while and he's not gone.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like what I don't like is that it took Lucas taking responsibility for Kate to take responsibility. Kate at this point should figure out that she can't keep bailing her kids out and she can't keep skirting responsibility.
Yeah.
And so I know that, I want Roman and Kate back together, but I really just want more than that. I just want Kate to get it.
Yeah.
I think
Do we think she has now that she's saying she's going to go to the police and
but she said she already did, right? Or she said
I
she
thought
was going
on her way there. I thought. That's,
okay.
Yeah, I thought that's what she was just telling Roman. Kind of. And we didn't see the conclusion of that too, so maybe next week, I guess we'll get some of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's enough to put her in prison. I don't know if that's like a fine and slap on the wrist, or is that?
We'll see.
I mean, you would think with all the, and I don't know, I can't remember what crimes Kate's actually been convicted of, or what she's just done and gotten away with.
Yeah,
but I feel like Kate's not someone they would go easy on. But then again, I don't remember exactly what her actual criminal history is versus what we've know she's done. And gotten away with. But and I don't know. I'm still not on board with this new Kate. I want my pantsuit bitch Kate back.
I want her and Paulina together. Like, let's develop that. Like, why can't she work for Paulina? Why can't we get
Jack A was cracking me up the way she was like, "Oh, I can't find my glasses. I know they're right." And he's like, "You didn't bring your glasses," and she's like,
I love Paulina because you just knew right off the bat that she was there just to talk to Roman.
I have ulterior motives.
Yeah, and it was just, and it's just like every time, and to his credit, I love that Abe. They just fit so well together now because Abe just it feels like they've been married for decades.
Yeah.
Where Abe just knows her so well and he just knows to just sit there and shut up. And when he tries to pipe, because he knows that if he tries to pipe in, she's going to be like, ain't nobody talking to you.
Yep. Like he's exasperated by her, but he loves her and knows this.
If you think I'm leaving now, you're crazy.
Yeah. But no, that was cute. Funny, I thought she was going to say like, oh, let me get my glasses and let's get out of here, leave them alone. But no, she was like, I'm not going anywhere. But I liked her sticking up for Kate too, and like call back to them, sort of building a friendship. I hope they continue that with them.
I mean, I like that foursome. I would really like that foursome, but we all need to start just like you said, please get Kate back on track.
Yeah.
Have her take responsibility, get Pantsuit Kate back. Let's just like
Pantsuit Kate back.
Move on. We're moving on.
I've always loved her with the DiMeras more than with Titan and stuff. But I feel like even now the DiMera stuff is so messy. Like put her with Paulina. Like make that a match in like business.
I feel like Kate's best pairings were, in my opinion, Victor when she was with Victor and Stefano.
Yeah.
Which neither can really happen now again. But, I feel like those were Kate, the character, and Lauren just had, amazing chemistry with both guys. But and actually I thought she had good with, we mentioned Ted earlier. I kind of had hopes for her and Ted.
Oh my God.
I was crazy about them.
I don't know. I kind of like them together but yeah.
I didn't care for
I mean, I kind of liked her with Rafe, even when they were like doing their little thing.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's right. She was with Rafe.
I mean, it's so far gone at this point, but I actually,
Yeah, it's just a mess. Anyways.
Okay, back.
Anyways, last but not least, EJ, Ava, Johnny, Gabby. So we talked about Johnny apologizing to Gabby. EJ is back on my shit list for being a one-track mind. He completely let the gloves off this week with Ava. To her credit, she is no pushover.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk about EJ. He's on my show list. Let's just talk about what we really want to talk about, which is Johnny and Ava.
What do you think, Araceli? Because we talked about this last week, and what do you think of them?
I think it could go either way. I think Ava's my girl. I think of her in the way I think of Gabby, where it's like they are villains, but they're not. I don't feel the same. I feel more sympathy with them than I do for Kristen, because Kristen said it herself this week. She's desperate. She's always desperate. Yeah. Whereas Gabby, I feel like Gabby and Ava have better temperaments.
Yeah.
They don't fly off the handle as easily. They're very, very.
They're not as reactive.
Yes, they're not as reactive. If they do anything to take revenge, they're very calculated. And y'all already know how I feel about Ava and Rafe. I went on for months about that. So I feel like, similarly to Gabby, almost actually, not even similarly, almost exactly like Gabby, you know, Ava lost Jake the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they were not married yet, but no, you know, we're the only ones who know that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels like Ava has also been used as Life's punching bag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she punched back hard with Rafe, but in all other respects, she's been through a lot, and it feels like Johnny's the only one who sees that.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% on board with them, like a romantic thing. I like the pairing of these two actors and characters, but I'm just like not romantically.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was like them plotting together or them being friendly or kind of a thing, but I'm just not there yet. I can maybe see myself getting there depending on how they play it moving forward. But also, I'm wondering, are they, not that we're getting indication of this, but is this going to be like a father-son triangle there? Are they also pushing that a little bit? Is it going to be like Johnny and EJ for Ava, you know, kind of a thing? Or is Stefan still in the mix now? Because I thought it was going to be a Gabby, Stefan, Ava thing, but it seems like they're going to want to push Stefan to Chloe. So, you know, we may have that triangle over here. So maybe Stefan won't be involved with Ava. And maybe it's going to be a Johnny, Ava, EJ. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's funny. Someone put EJ, someone put Ava and John, and it made me think of Ava and actual John.
Yeah.
And
well, because that happened.
Yeah, and I was like, it made me think of like the grandfather and now the son. I'm like, the Ava and Johnny thing. It just reminds me too much of Eve and JJ, which I liked, but I felt like
we haven't had that kind of like scandalous, you know.
Yeah.
But that I felt that chemistry right away, where that was combustible hate.
I like the way that was handled. This, I kind of feel like Ava would never go for someone like John. I feel like she would look at him and be like, cute, but way too young. It wouldn't really give him the time of day, kind of a thing.
Well, and I mean, maybe that could be a direction they take. They start, you know, entangling, and you know, then Johnny develops feelings when she's just kind of like, yo, I'm just, you know, here for the D. And I don't know what the, you know, continuance of that would be, but that could be a route they're going.
I do think we need to get something for Johnny to do or to get mixed up in. I just don't know if it's I'm trying to, is he related to Stephanie? No, he's not. Because Sammy and EJ, no. So he's the one guy actually. So that's it. Johnny's the one guy who isn't related to Stephanie.
Yes, he is.
How? No, his parents are DiMera and Sammy.
Sammy is a Brady.
Oh, that's right. They're cousins. Oh God, they're cousins. That's right. Okay, never mind. They're cousins.
Justin trying to get all West Virginia with us over here.
No, Alex. No, this is precisely why Alex and not one of the other Kiriakis brothers was brought into the canvas, because Alex is not related to other people because Adrian was not his mother.
Well, no, Sonny's the only biological one. Joe and Victor aren't Adrian's either.
Oh,
yeah. Sonny's the only biological child with Justin. Yeah.
So that's my point.
Yeah, that makes Yeah,
you have to find someone who has a completely different parent.
Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot to Johnny. Yeah, they're cousins. God.
Yeah. Sam, did you think that Sammy wasn't a Brady?
I just completely. I remember I got the Sammy thing, and then I wasn't connecting because I feel like Kayla and Sammy are always at odds with each other, and so I wasn't connecting.
Well, just because Sammy's at odds with everybody, she's never really been close to anybody.
I kind of like Gina Marie's idea. Have Johnny team up with Alex as gigolo bad boys.
Oh,
yes,
Lord.
More shirtless scenes.
Let's do that.
Oh, man. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, maybe if there were more available women on the canvas. Yeah, but many of them are taken at the moment. So, yeah. So
I'm liking Ava against EJ. I feel like it's a good even match with them. Like, yeah, I just don't know how it's gonna go. I mean, Gabby his partnership with Gabby, but also EJ is trying to steal. I don't know. I feel like it's fragile because it's all based on the idea of the stocks, and I feel like Gabby could just blow that up at any if Ava double crossed her. So
yeah, it just feels like, I don't know. I don't really like the situation in that house right now. It just feels like with Chad not there, that there's a giant hole. With Chad and Kristen not under the roof, it feels like there's a giant hole, and that's why I can't make up my mind about what direction I want it to be, because it doesn't feel like they're high enough stakes.
Yeah. Because now, because
it's just, the whole storyline is just EJ on a power trip. That's it.
And also it made me think of like the Lee Kristen thing, because ironically, they're both kind of on opposite sides. I mean, Kristen is sort of kept at bay because Gabby put her in charge of Basic Black. But if Kristen went to EJ and said, I'll give you my shares, I'm on your side, just keep me as head of Basic Black, then you know what I mean? It doesn't. So I feel like that partnership is also very, fragile too, because Lee's obviously on Gabby's side and wants her to continue running the business. And then he now is making these partnerships with, quote unquote, the enemy, the other side, the DiMeras. I don't know. Yeah, should be interesting. But I'm glad we're getting this Ava. I'm tired of domesticated Ava.
Lasagna Ava. Yeah.
Oh my God. Give Ava something to do, please.
Yeah.
She's an interesting woman.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was your week of days. Let's move on to our segments. Tony is not here, so we do not have a 3 Snaps award. So we'll
just give it to Mama Moore. Mama Moore gets
yes,
Mama Moore.
Yes, snaps for Mama Moore.
She gets the Snaps for Life award, even though we've already given that out. She gets the other. She gets another one. We'll give 2 this year.
Yes. Okay, and then we have Michael's caption that.
Caption that.
So long.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this week's caption that goes to Alex asking Auntie, almost said Auntie Vic. That's not Auntie Vic. That's Auntie Suzanne. That's also Maggie. Not her name. Auntie Maggie. Auntie Maggie. Which shirt he should wear for his date with Chanel and Allie. And this week's caption goes to Chris Fitzgerald, who is Chris Fitz Prince on Twitter. With his caption of Maggie saying, that 6-pack is going to give me that 6-pack.
What is going on today?
This week's caption goes to Chris Fitzgerald on Twitter with his caption of Maggie saying, that 6-pack is going to send me to an AA meeting.
Oh, no. Oh, God. That was a good one.
Also, thank you for Rob Wilson I think he retweeted that one.
Oh, did he?
And also interacting a little bit with the post. Because after he did that, I got like caption after caption after caption. So that always helps get, the more captions I have to choose from, the better one I choose. But yes, thank you. What was his name? Chris Fitzpatrick from Twitter.
Oh, cute.
And that was this week's caption that.
And next up, we have that always just scares the heck out of me.
I'm very echoey. This week, I'm taking you guys back to August 19th, 2002, where we had Abe almost catch Lexi and Brandon in bed. They did actually have sex, but Abe was sort of showed up at Brandon's door looking for Lexi and almost caught them. Although Brandon sneaky managed to make sure Abe found, I think it's a scarf there of Lexi's, to sort of know like she was here, like to get his nose turning. This is sort of when they hated each other. And people always let me say this, people always refer to this as an affair, which technically it wasn't an affair because at this point, I remember it specifically, her and Abe were actually getting a divorce. They never actually got the divorce. But her and Abe were separated. She was living in the DiMera mansion with Celeste. He was, living in the house, and they were sort of like really at odds with each other. And then this is the time, of course, Lexi and Brandon were best friends and slept together and whatever. But yeah, I know people always refer to it as, now Lexi has had her affairs in the past, mostly just Tech, and I think people like grab every relationship Lexi's had as an affair, but no, Tech is the only actual affair she's ever had. The stuff with Brandon, the stuff with Jonah wasn't even real. It was all imaginary.
Yeah, it was all in her head.
Yeah. But yeah, this is when Lexi and Brandon slept together. And then, yeah, Abe sort of almost walked in on him. August 19th, 2002.
Miss Renee Jones.
Oh, I know. She's got to come back. We got to get her back in something.
Rolf's got to have her with another brain.
I always think that's the trump card, that Lexi is somewhere. I know. I always thought that, like, Rolf is keeping her on ice somewhere to take care of cancer.
They can keep Bo, bring Lexi back.
Yeah.
That'd be my vote.
Yeah. If they can bring
unpopular,
Bo back,
but
they can
Oh my
Lexi.
gosh.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Those were the days.
It doesn't get less creepy than the more times I hear it. Okay, and now it's time for my segment.
It's a gift.
And while there was a lot of good lines this week, I there wasn't a lot of great movement. So this week's It's a Gift goes to Leo, just because he had a lot of good lines, but this was his good movement. His only movement, really.
I object to this, but okay.
It's his only. Well,
your segment.
Yeah.
Well, this is his only real weapon, I guess.
Weapon. And he aims very well with it.
Oh, God.
Oh, snap!
Yeah. Okay.
It's a gift.
And okay, moving on. To news and gossip. Justin, take it away.
Oh God, yes, that's right. News and gossip. Okay.
Yes, you're all important news and gossip that we can't discuss during the show. So go
I
ahead.
told you. Listen, when I don't have a lot and you discuss it, then I literally have nothing to say.
I skirted.
No, it's fine when there's plenty of stuff, but when there's like nothing, it's like, okay, guys.
I skirted.
No worries.
Ken Corday looking at Alex.
We have finally got a little word from executive producer Ken Corday, who did an interview recently and gave us some insight into the Days move to Peacock September 12th. I took like 4 main key points. One is that this move to Peacock was actually written into their 2021 contract. So it was always possibly going to happen. It was just a matter of when, and it was actually written into the contract. So for everyone who's thinking it was an issue of ratings, that's possibly true, but this was something that sort of had the foresight. And we actually kind of talked about this a little bit in our Beyond Salem 1 recap, where we talked about what this means for the show moving forward. Is this a way for them to slowly inch the show to streaming, or the idea of the ratings for streaming? Will this make an impact on the actual show? So this is something that has kind of been in the works and sort of put in as somewhat of a contingency plan. So that is now just coming to fruition. So he wanted us to know that. He also wanted us to know that they are going to be coming out with promos and PSAs specifically for the older generation of fans of Days. And they're going to incorporate Bill and Susan into this to sort of show fans how, quote unquote, easy it is or accessible Peacock is to sort of get on and be able to view the show and things like that. So I think that's a great idea. He also wanted to tell us the show is actually still distributed through Sony, so international viewers should be fine. The only question mark that they're still trying to sort of work out and figure out is Canada, because Canada airs a day before us. So I think they're trying to work out the logistics and management of that so that they can either continue to watch it as a daily show, or they'll be able to get on Peacock and see it at, I believe, with the rest of us. So I think that's the only sort of question mark in terms of international viewers or viewership outside of the US. And the last point is that now that it's moving to streaming, Ken made an emphasis to point out that the show will probably expand in terms of what we see, because they don't need to fit in X amount of minutes for commercials. So you can make the show actually longer. So instead of right now, if you were to watch on Peacock, I believe every show is like 33 or 34 minutes. Now they can expand that to maybe a full hour, or they can expand that to 45 minutes, or there's a lot of stuff sometimes on the Days YouTube channel that they cut out and put on there, so they can actually like leave all that stuff in, and they don't have to worry about timing or to make sure the show, this Friday's show ends at this point, so that we can pick up and I don't have to cut out things. So, and also he made a point that the show is going to be allowed to be a little bit more edgier. Now that, so we may see a lot of the same stuff that they were able to do on Beyond Salem. He did emphasis in saying that it's still going to be the same show, just evolving with time as it usually does. So it's not going to go from, it's not going to be, Days is not going to be a Cinemax show now kind of a thing, but it probably will get a little edgier maybe in content and what we're seeing. So yeah, so I'm going to, that I think this was seen overall as a very positive interview and sort of insight into this for a lot of viewers. So I think the idea is that to rally around the show, and if you can purchase Peacock, purchase it and support the show, and that's how we keep it on the air.
Yeah, I want to add a little expansion or caveats to this. So, yeah, to echo everything that Justin just said, whether or not this is a we're going to presume that this is a very good move. This is the first time I've gotten the opportunity to talk about this. I got mad texts from everybody the day that this broke, and I was like, I'm at the beach. I'm watching children. Why is everybody messaging me right now? So it's the first time I've gotten a chance to expand on this. I'm going to say that this is a good thing. This is different from what I call Black Friday, which was the day that One Life to Live and AMC got canceled. I remember actually screaming in my dorm room. I scared the heck out of my roommates when that happened. So let's all take this together. I know that there are some people, especially older generations, that are like, oh, why do I have to pay for another streaming service? I'm going to toot Peacock right now and say that you actually get a lot with Peacock. And if you are an industry person, you should know that there's a lot of kind of messy stuff going on with other streaming platforms that is actually not happening with Peacock.
Sure.
The Peacock's actual, their library is expanding constantly. So when you say, why do I have to pay for another streaming service? Well, actually, I'm going to tell you right now, this one's worth it. It is only $4.99 a month. You do, I think somebody told me that you can actually pay for the year service if you want.
Oh yeah.
And that cuts your annual cost by I think $20. So you can do that as an option as well. You can get the ads. And I know that there was some concern with some of our international viewers who already don't get or don't have access to Peacock in the same way depending on what country you're in. So I would encourage you, this would be your opportunity to, flood social media, flood the inboxes saying, hey, we want, if you don't have the current access through Sony or whatever platforms you have been, and you're worried about this Peacock move, take this opportunity to flood them and say, hey, we want access, because that's what we want. We want more viewership. We want it to expand into as many countries as possible so that the show keeps going. And the only way we do that is if viewers don't shy away. If you have relatives who are not tech savvy, go set it up on their TVs.
Yeah.
You can, it's similar. Peacock is similar to other streaming platforms where you can set up multiple accounts, with different names. So go ahead, please expand, set it up on your TV, set it up on your phones. I actually had to set up a different account because I made a mistake with my first account. It was very easy. I would say I actually am going to cut their customer service as well, because I have dealt with streaming services and other people who would just want to take your money and then you can't get somebody on the phone or get somebody through email. Peacock, I would say that was not my experience. You can actually get someone on the phone saying, hey, I made a mistake. I need help. So I'm encouraging everybody, spread the word. This is good news. This is easy access in a way it's not, you don't get with other streaming platforms. It's worth it. Please. The only way that we keep the show that we love is if we continue to push.
Yeah. And
we could get a better show.
Yeah.
It could, we don't, there could be content improvements that, and people complaining about ads, like you have to pay, but it's not like you're paying $4.99 and then having to sit through 5 minutes of ads every break. I've been watching it on Peacock, and sometimes it even skips the ads.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that happens, but I've never seen more than 1 minute. I've never seen more than 1 minute, 60 seconds of ads. So there's still a benefit there. You have to watch ads, but you don't have to watch as many as you would on the broadcast. Yeah,
I was going to say the ads are actually no longer, they're really only two lengths. There's a 45-second ad or a 60-second ad, and that's it. It's not a 3-minute commercial break. Another thing, too, is when this goes to streaming, most likely, if you're unfamiliar with streaming, they drop episodes at the literally like 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock or whatever the specific time. So you can watch this whenever you like. You're not having to, sort of be a slave to your day like you are. And even if you have your routine of, I watch it every day at 11 o'clock with my coffee or with my lunch or at 1 o'clock, you can still do that. There. It's all there. Also, we've talked about this before. Look into Peacock, do a little bit of research. Most likely, again, people are thinking, I'm just paying for days. You're not just paying for days. You're paying for the whole streaming service.
Yes,
There's all kinds of shows on there that you wouldn't think.
There's the old guys. There's like the original Law and Order. Yeah. There's tons and tons of stuff. I see this comment by Gina Marie about the older folks in the nursing home. Gina, if you can talk to the administration, the Apple device. There's the little Apple device that you can hook up to TVs, and that gets you access to all streaming services. And all you have to do is just create an account. So it's just, you don't have to have a fancy TV and you don't have to have access to cable. All it is the little device that you hook up to the TV, and it'll work the same way. Mm-hmm. There's easy access points. If you guys want to message us, we will absolutely do our best to kind of, create communities. You guys, this is a community in and of itself. Talk to each other. There is a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I know one huge question that's made people maybe teeter on it. As of right now, what Peacock has been doing for the last few years is they show the last few seasons of the show. So if we're on season 57, you probably could watch back down to like 55 or 54. The reason why it can't just all be uploaded, the whole history of the show, is back then they didn't do music licensing. So that's a reason why this has been an overall reason in the industry. It's why a lot of times if you get a DVD of a movie, the music for the but the score is changed. Or if you watch old TV shows and you remember a specific song being associated with a specific scene, and then when you buy it digitally, it's not there. It's because of music rights. Those things didn't exist. Streaming didn't exist when you made the contracts for those all those years ago. I don't know if there is a plan to rectify that. Sometimes you bring in different scores, or you overlay the score with something different that is cheaper and affordable. I don't know if Peacock is able to do that, but I do know if they get a big enough response of people who are watching the show and subscribing, then maybe that will be an option for them to invest the money in, so that you can watch the previous 50-something seasons of Days of Our Lives. And in that case, I mean, that's an amazing deal for your money for $5. I mean, so if you can, please look into it, do the research. And if you can, please stick with the show. I think this is going to be a turning point. Another reason why they mentioned this article is that they actually want people to subscribe to Peacock. And this was sort of like, I wouldn't say the ace up the hole, but this was an idea from Peacock to be like, what if we brought Days over and we recouped all of those viewers? So the idea that it's going here to die is not the idea from the executives. They're like, let's get this soap opera onto our platform and we can recoup all those people so that we have subscriptions and we also have this other content that they can view and watch. And so it's we're trying to make it symbiotic. It's the idea is we want the show to last as long.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, look, I'm not happy with a lot of streaming services right now, but Peacock is not one of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's worth it to get in on the ground floor so that as it expands over the years, you're sort of grandfathered in a lot of way in your pricing and stuff like that. So,
and that's what I did with Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I was a member, and I got in on the ground floor, and I got a year free.
Yeah. Also, sometimes do the research, check your cable subscriptions. As someone in your family knowledgeable, a lot of times Peacock comes with it. It comes with it free. And as Peacock expands, it's going to be like a Netflix and those things where, you go and re-up your phone and you get a free year, or there are lots of deals out there. So please go check them out. If you're looking way of saving money, or if you're not sure about it, do the research. And if you can afford it, please sign up and watch Days and continue to support.
Dolores, we're not going anywhere. We will I don't know. Yeah. No, if anybody's worried about how this move is going to affect our show, Dishin Days, not one bit.
Yeah.
Not one bit. We are still going to be here same time every week, barring holidays. We're fine. We're fine. This is why we're doing our PSA right here, because we want to stay on the air.
Yeah, and we want all of you who are watching us and come here and support it in the chat. Like, we want you to still be a part of the conversation, and
Yeah, so, this is a community, and I know that there are people of all ages, all backgrounds, different parts of the country, different other countries. So just, it's time for us to band together and just expand and just, take care. If there's somebody who has questions, please reach out to them. You can direct them to us. This is we stick together.
Cool. Moving forward, we have some new Spectrum celebrity events coming up. The first one with new friend to the show, Colton Little. His is on Saturday, September 17th, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. This is the usual format. It's usually a Q&A session and then a meet and greet. So if you want to get to know Colton a little bit better, please go to Spectrum Celebrity Events and get your tickets there. Last but not least, one of our favorites, Mr. Freddie Smith. His is going to be Saturday, September 10th. This year, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Same deal, Q&A session, and then a meet and greet. All tickets and information, please go to SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com. And speaking of another event, this Starstruck fan event that's happening on Seattle, September 9th through 10th. Legends of Daytime featuring Melissa Reeves, Brian Datillo, Judy Evans, and James Reynolds. Looks like we are going to give away a few tickets to these. Check out our Instagram for details in the next coming week. But yeah, we'll be giving away a few tickets to those. So if you're in the area or planning on making it, please check out our Instagram and check to see if, you might be the lucky recipient of one of those free giveaways.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And before we head out, let's take a look at a promo for next week's Dishin Days.
I need to get home to my wife.
What the hell?
I met the woman of my dreams.
You two slept together.
We did.
Wow.
I feel like that promo answered a lot of questions we had.
Yeah.
We did.
I'm not mad at any of it.
Yeah. Things are moving.
Love it.
Jada's like, I ain't even changed the sheets yet.
Yeah. Right, I know. Listen, I'm not hiding anything. I'm going to be right up front with you. Yes, we did.
Oh, gosh.
You got that D.
Anyways, thank you so much for tuning into this week's Dishin Days. I want to remind everyone to please, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're here. If you're watching here, please just hit the subscribe button. Like us, love us, want more of us. Follow us on Dishin Days Show on Facebook, at Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on Twitter. If you can't catch the live show, take us with you on Apple, Google, Spotify, and iHeartRadio podcasts. And you can also take us with you when you buy our merch, dishindays.threadless.com. Take us with you, show us off in a mug and a t-shirt and what have you. I am Araceli, and you can find me on Twitter at Tia323Araceli.
You can find me on Instagram at
You know what, Justin? We don't even have I don't know where your
What
banner was.
happened?
Sure, whatever. One's always missing every week, right?
Justin, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
Lovely. You can find me, Michael Mattis, on Instagram at MLMattis and Twitter at MLMattis. And you can follow Tony everywhere at Loungin' with Tony.
Yes.
And get updates from his trip back home to Columbia, South Carolina.
Yay.
Wonder if he went to Waffle House. Wonder if you can bring me back a waffle.
Stop making me hungry.
Right?
It'll keep on the 6-hour flight back here.
Oh my gosh.
Oof, yeah. Anyway.
All right. Okay. We will see you next week for our regularly scheduled Dishin Days. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good rest of your week.